What would you do if a stranger showed up at your vacation home, claimed it was theirs, and turned your dream getaway into a nightmare? Let me tell you about Dr. Ethan Harper, a 45-year-old trauma surgeon from Chicago, who thought he'd finally earned a break after 16 years of SAVYing lives in the ER. His story isn't just about a vacation gone wrong, it's about entitlement, violence, and a fight for justice that'll make your blood boil and your jaw drop. Ethan had been grinding so hard in the hospital that his wife, Lily, teased he was more married to the operating room than to her. She wasn't far off. So, when they packed their SUV with their 2 kids, a cooler the size of a small fridge, fishing rods, and a bag of marshmallows, it wasn't just a trip. It was a lifeline. Their destination? A lakeside cabin in northern Wisconsin, a family heirloom for over a decade, tucked away on a wooded lot a mile from the nearest road. No neighbors, no HOA, no nonsense. Just peace. Ethan had turned the place into a fortress. Motion sensor lights, high-def cameras, a digitized security system streaming to his phone and the cloud. He even kept the property deeds and tax records in a fireproof safe bolted to the master bedroom floor. No detail was too small for a man who'd spent years dodging chaos in the ER. That first night, they grilled burgers on the deck while the kids skipped stones by the dock. Ethan's son tried to catch fish with a candy worm, showing off for his little sister. Lily poured a glass of red wine, and they really laughed for the first time in months. No pagers, no sirens, just the hum of crickets and the distant call of loons. Ethan slept like a rock. By sunrise he was sipping coffee, feet up, watching mist drift over the lake like a ghost. He thought he'd found paradise. He had no idea hell was about to roll up his driveway. It started with the crunch of gravel under tires. A sleek black SUV pulled in like it owned the place, kicking up dust and stopping inches from the porch. Ethan stood, coffee in hand, still in his sleeved shirt and sweats, figuring it was some lost hiker looking for a trail. Then she stepped out. Around 40, tan, dressed in designer workout gear and sunglasses that screamed, "I argue with baristas." She scanned the cabin like she was pricing it for sale, then flashed a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Perfect," she said. "This is it." Ethan blinked. "Sorry, do I know you?" She extended a manicured hand. "Melissa Grant. We rented this house for the week. You'll need to pack up so we can check in." He laughed, thinking it was a joke, but her face stayed stone-cold serious. "This is my property," he said, keeping his voice calm but firm. "There's been a mistake." Melissa didn't budge. She whipped out her phone like it was a loaded gun and shoved it in his face. "I booked it on Easy Stay Rental. Look. 5 nights, confirmed, paid. Check-in's at 2 p.m., but since you're here, early works." The screen showed a sketchy email, address, no property ID, just a generic confirmation code that looked like it came from a phishing scam. Before Ethan could respond, the SUV's doors popped open. Out came 3 more, a beefy guy in a tracksuit, her husband Mark, a younger woman in heels and yoga pants, popping gum like it was her job, and a lanky guy hauling a cooler and a Bluetooth speaker. They started unloading blankets, beer, snack bags like they were moving into a resort. "Hey!" Ethan stepped off the porch, voice rising. "Stop. This house isn't for rent. Never has been." Melissa laughed, sharp and mocking. "Oh, please. You think you can squat here and play owner? I've read about your scam online." Ethan's jaw hit the floor. "I've owned this place for 10 years. I have the deeds, the tax records, my name's on every document." She waved him off. "Save it for the cops. If you had proof, you'd be showing it, not whining." Ethan turned, not backing down but heading inside to grab the folder with every legal paper he'd meticulously stored. He figured this would be over in minutes. He was wrong. When he came back, documents in hand, they were on his porch. "Ma'am, get off my property," he said, holding up the papers. "These prove I own this place." Melissa snatched them, ripping a tax record in the process. "These could be faked at a print shop," she snapped. "I'm not an idiot." Mark, the husband, stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. I suggest, Melissa said, eyes narrowing, you stop pretending you own our rental. I paid Dula $350. You're trespassing. I'm calling the sheriff, Ethan said, reaching for his phone. But before he could dial, Melissa slapped the papers from his hands. They scattered across the lawn like fallen leaves. Then she screamed, You fraud! You attacked me, and now you're scaring my family! Ethan froze. What? I didn't touch you. He didn't see the punch coming. Mark's fist slammed into his jaw, sending a shockwave through his skull. Ethan stumbled, the porch railing catching him. Blood filled his mouth. What the hell? He shouted, but Mark charged again, this time aiming for his ribs. Something cracked. Ethan hit the ground, gasping, the world spinning. Then he felt his arms yanked behind him. Not help restraint. The lanky guy, still clutching his speaker, knelt on Ethan's back, tying his wrists with an extension cord. Ethan thrashed, but his lungs wouldn't cooperate. Lily's scream cut through the chaos. Ethan! What's happening? Melissa's voice turned venomous. Your husband's unhinged. He assaulted me. Stay inside, or I'll have you arrested too. Ethan tried to call out, but only a wheeze escaped. His face pressed into the porch, blood soaking the wood. Mark paced like a predator, while Melissa called 911, her voice dripping with fake panic. We need police now. There's a violent man breaking into our rental. He hit me. Ethan laughed, despite the pain. The absurdity was unreal. Melissa strutted across his lawn, declaring, I know the law. This is trespassing and assault. He's going to jail. Through the window, Ethan saw his daughter's terrified face pressed against the glass. Lily, he rasped. Call the real police. He wasn't sure she heard. His VY sound flickered, ribs screaming with every breath. Then, finally, sirens. 2 sheriff's cruisers rolled in, lights flashing. Melissa froze, her triumphant pacing halted. 2 deputies stepped out, one older, grizzled, with the look of someone who'd seen it all, the other younger, sharp-eyed. Everyone stay put. The older one barked, hand on his holster. Ethan, still bound, managed to croak, I'm the owner. Help. Melissa jumped in, thrusting her phone forward. Officers, thank God. We rented this house, and this man attacked us. He's pretending to own it. The younger deputy glanced at her screen. This is a screenshot. No address, no contract. The older one knelt beside Ethan, cutting the cords. Name? He asked. Dr. Ethan Harper. I own this place. Documents in the safe. Cameras on the porch, everything's recorded. The deputy's eyes sharpened. You got footage? Ethan nodded. Cloud storage. I'll give you access. Lily cracked the door, kids clinging to her. Officers, check the cameras. They beat my husband. Melissa spun on her. Lies. They're scamming us. But the younger deputy, now on a tablet, went rigid. Sir, VY Deo confirms it. Homeowner shows papers, female suspect rips them, male suspect punches him, they tie him up. False 911 call. The cuffs came out. Ma'am, you're under arrest for assault, false reporting, and unlawful restraint. Melissa screamed. This is insane. We're renters. Mark growled, stepping toward the cops. Big mistake. He was face down in the grass in seconds. The others didn't fare better. The gum-chewing woman sobbed, and the lanky guy tried to bolt but froze at the threat of a taser. As they were hauled away, Melissa, cuffs glinting, hissed at Ethan. You'll regret this. I have connections. He met her gaze. Not today. The cruisers vanished, Leah VYing silence and Ethan's blood on the porch. Court was a spectacle. The Midwestern courtroom, with its creaky fans and lemon-scented air, felt like a stage. Melissa walked in like she was headlining a gala, clutching a folder, her husband Greg trailing in a too-tight shirt. Their crew Samantha and Tyler looked like they'd rather be anywhere else. Ethan's lawyer, Rachel Kane, a former prosecutor with a knack for dismantling liars, leaned over. "Let's end this." Judge Elena Torres, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, took one look at Melissa's smirk and said, "This isn't a spa day, Ms. Grant. Sit." The prosecution played the security footage in crisp 1080p, Ethan holding papers, Melissa slapping them away, Greg's punch, Ethan bound and bleeding. The courtroom gasped. Melissa tried to interrupt. "That's CGI. He faked it." The judge's eyebrows shot up. "You're saying he staged a beating for fun? Sit down." Ethan took the stand, not as a VY Tim, but as a father protecting his home. He described the cabin's importance, the pain of lying helpless while his kids watched. The gallery shifted, sensing the weight of the story. Melissa's lawyer, sweating through his suit, mumbled about confusion. The judge laughed. "Tying up a bleeding man isn't confusion. It's a felony." The sentences hit like a hammer. Melissa, 6 years for assault, imprisonment, and fraud. Greg, 5 for battery. Samantha, 4 for aiding and abetting. Tyler, 3 for detainment. Ethan got due law $300,000 in damages. Melissa shrieked. "I had a confirmation." The gavel fell. They left in shackles, her bravado gone. 6 months later, the cabin was whole again. Ethan upgraded security floodlights, facial recognition, a gate with a sign. "Not for rent. Trespassers will face charges and public shaming." Another sign, a full welcome mat read, "Melissa Free Zone." The story went viral, with neighbors bringing casseroles and teens filming TikToks of Melissa's meltdown. Then, one day, she returned. Ethan was grilling when a gray sedan crept up. Melissa stepped out, no sunglasses, just a sweater and an envelope. "Dr. Harper," she said, voice soft. "I'm not here for trouble. I got out early. I was wrong, arrogant. I'm sorry." Ethan studied her. She looked broken, human. He nodded. "Thank you." As she turned to leave, he called, "Melissa, 4th of July's coming. Bring ribs. No reservation needed." She smiled faintly and drove off. That July 4th, the cabin hosted a legendary barbecue. The sheriff, Judge Torres, and Rachel brought a Melissa-themed piñata. Ethan raised a glass on the porch. "To family, property rights, and one truth. If your rental's from easystayrental.biz, pack a lawyer." The crowd roared, fireworks lit the sky, and Ethan knew his home was his again, no check-ins allowed.